Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Hey, welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. This week, we've been exploring the hidden intelligence of love. I don't mean intelligence in a cold or mechanical way either. I don't mean that life has a neat little instruction sheet tucked behind the curtain somewhere, and if we could just find it, everything would make sense. I mean something quieter than that. The kind of knowing that seems to move through love before we fully understand it. We started with that gentle pull that comes before we know why, or we looked at the pattern that only becomes visible after time gives us just a little distance. We talked about the people and places that feel like home, and yesterday we sat with the memory that love leaves within us. Today, as we finish the week, I want to turn toward the future. That word can feel heavy, I know. The future. It carries a lot of weight. Uncertainty, change, things we hope for, things we dread, people we want to keep safe, chapters that we're not ready to close, and doors we're not sure we're brave enough to open. Some days the future feels less like a horizon and more like weather moving in. But maybe love gives us another way to see it. Maybe the future is not only something coming toward us. Maybe it is also something that love is calling us toward. That doesn't make the road simple. I wish it did. I'd love to believe that if we choose love sincerely enough, life will reward us with a clear path, good lighting, and maybe a decent parking spot near the entrance. But love has never promised that everything will become easy. Love is not a guarantee. It is an invitation. It asks us to stay available to what can still be created. That phrase has stayed with me. Available to what love is still creating. Because it is very easy after enough years and enough losses to start thinking the most meaningful parts of life are behind us. We don't always say that out loud either. Sometimes we just stop expecting anything new to reach us. We lower our hopes in quiet ways. A door closes and we don't look for another one. A dream fades and we tell ourselves it probably wasn't practical anyway. Or something hurts and we decide that wanting less might keep us safer. I get that. I understand that. Life can wear people down. Believe me, I know. Grief can make tomorrow feel like an empty room. Disappointment can start sounding like wisdom if it speaks confidently enough. Fear is very good at pretending to be practical. It says, don't open that door. Don't hope too much. Don't let anything matter enough to hurt you again. After enough pain, that can sound reasonable, even something that you hope for. But love keeps knocking, not pounding, not forcing its way in. More often it returns as a quiet stirring that we thought had gone away. A little curiosity comes back. A name stays on our minds. Someone invites us into something, and to our own surprise, we want to say yes. A cause begins to matter. A creative idea keeps tapping on the window. Or someone else's suffering touches us in a place that refuses to go numb. That may be one way that love calls us forward. It doesn't always call us toward comfort. Often it calls us toward usefulness, toward connection, toward healing that we can help with, even in some small way. And I think that can come at any age. Love does not retire from a human life. Our roles change, our energy changes, our bodies change. The way we contribute may look different than it once did, but the thread does not disappear because the chapter turns. There is still kindness to give, and there is still wisdom to share. And there is still some person somewhere who may need the exact tenderness that life has taught us how to carry. That's one of the things that I find hopeful. The parts of our lives that we would never have chosen may still become part of how we love someone else. I want to say that carefully. Pain is not good just because something good can come afterward. Loss does not become beautiful because it teaches us something. I don't believe that love sends suffering as a lesson. Some people believe that, but I don't. I do believe that love can enter the aftermath. It can take what we carry and ask, can this become mercy now? That question can change a future. Old sorrow does not have to become bitterness. Experience does not have to harden into a wall. Memory does not have to become a place where we simply sit and ache. In the hands of love, even what has hurt us can become a deeper tenderness for someone still standing in the dark. That doesn't make the hurt okay. It means that the hurt does not get the final word. The future is shaped by people who have every reason to become cruel and choose not to. That choice may not look dramatic from the outside. It may happen at a kitchen table, during a difficult phone call, beside a hospital bed, or in a tense conversation where one person could wound the other and decides to take a breath instead. Those are small places only if we misunderstand what changes the world. A family can begin to heal because one person stops handing down the wound that they inherited. A friendship can survive because someone reaches across the silence before pride turns it into a wall. A community can change when enough people decide that winning is not the same thing as repair. Love creates futures in ordinary rooms, and that may be why we miss it. We expect transformation to arrive with ceremony. We talk about that a lot, but often it begins with restraint, apology, patience, or one honest sentence said without trying to destroy anybody. Heaven help us, that is powerful, guys. A future worth living in will not be made only by policies, inventions, and speeches. Those things matter, of course they do, but underneath them there has to be a human willingness to see one another as real. Without that, even progress can become cold. I don't want a world that moves faster while caring less. I don't want us to become so impressed with what we can build that we forget to ask whether it helps people become more human. The love force keeps asking that question. What are we becoming? That question does not wait for some grand stage. It comes to us in ordinary life where we are always being shaped. A little more open or a little more guarded. A little more honest or a little more defended. A little more willing to offer mercy or a little more convinced that mercy should only be given to people who have earned it. Where are you on that? There we are, day by day, becoming something. That sounds serious because it is, but it is also hopeful, because becoming means the story is not finished. We're not trapped forever in who we were yesterday. The future is not only out there somewhere, waiting on a calendar. It begins in the spirit that we bring into the next moment. The very next moment. I think about the quiet love happening in the world right now, mostly unnoticed, except by the people touched by it. There are rooms where someone is sitting beside a bed because love refuses to leave. There are meals being carried across porches, children being taught with patience, phone calls being made by people who are scared but willing. Somewhere a person is choosing a better path for one more day. Somewhere else an old hatred is finally losing its grip because somebody is tired of letting it steer. Most of that will never trend. It may never be written down, but it is part of the future that love is creating, quietly, faithfully, thread by thread. Maybe that's why we cannot afford despair. And I don't say that casually. Despair can feel honest when the world is painful. Sometimes hope sounds almost offensive when people are suffering. I understand that too. There are days when optimism feels too shiny for the room that we're standing in. But love does not ask us to deny reality. It asks us not to surrender the future to the worst parts of reality. Listen to that. There is a difference. We can tell the truth and still plant something. We can grieve and still answer the call. We can be tired and still choose one small act of care. Some days that may be all we have. One small act, one message, one softer answer, one refusal to pass the wound forward. One moment when we decide that fear does not get to write the whole story. That may not feel like much, guys, but threads rarely do when you're only holding one of them. You don't see the whole tapestry from where you stand. You see what has been placed in your hands. A relationship, a responsibility, a chance to be kind, a place where your presence can make the room less cold. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we honor the future by honoring the thread that we have today. As we close this week, that's what I want to carry with me. Love has been behind us, leaving memory. It has been beneath us, weaving meaning through ordinary days. It has been beside us, helping us recognize home. And I believe love is ahead of us too, not as a threat, not as a demand, more like a porch light in the distance. Come this way. That may be what it is saying. Come this way. There is still kindness to become. There is still healing worth joining, and there is still beauty that needs witnesses and mercy that needs hands. There's still work to do that may matter deeply, even if no one applauds it. So let's stay available. Not perfect, just available. Because the thread is still moving, and maybe the future is not only something waiting for us. Maybe it is something that love is making through us. I'm Bob Barnett, guys, and this is Infinite Threads. I love you very, 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 very much. And you know what I need you to do? Go out and pass that on, okay? Later, Gators. Bye-bye.